is the western third part of the island of Hispaniola, located between the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea. Haiti's population was estimated at 6.8 million in July 2000, showing a growth rate of 1.39% and a total rise of 36% since the last official census of 1982, when the population was approximately 5 million. The country's demographic statistics reveal the effect of extreme poverty and HIV/AIDS epidemic. These conditions have reduced life expectancy to just 49.2 years, contributed to the high infant mortality and general death rates, and slowed population growth. The latest consensus of March this year brought the population approximate of 9.7 million. Despite slow growth rates, Haiti is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. Land shortages and urban overcrowding have led to many Haitians attempting to emigrate either to the neighboring Dominican Republic or to the United States of America. The island that Haiti is a part of was discovered by Christopher Columbus and claimed it as a colony of Spain, naming it Hispaniola. The French, being one of the regular visitors of the island, developed a special interest in the island and colonized it in 1665. Revolutions against the new government took place in 1789 and became ultimately successful in 1804, making Haiti the oldest black republic. However, independent since then, foreign investors were still a huge part of the society. Many dictatorships littered the late history of Haiti, the most popular of which was the regime of Duvalier. Clashes within the country were mainly caused by the differences and conflicts between the people of the government and the elite, leaving the people to experience the consequences, such as bad deals with international organizations that lead to the downfall of the country's economy. The biggest issue that put the country on the world map and in the consciousness of the minds of many people all over the world was the earthquake in 2010, which claimed many lives. The mass media in Haiti expanded remarkably between 1957 and 1989. Radio led the way. The transistor radio brought news and information to previously isolated rural areas. Since the 1950s, Protestant missionaries have advocated their faith through their own radio stations. Radio Soleil, a Roman Catholic station, and other radio stations contributed to the fall of Duvalier in 1986. Approximately 24 radio stations were broadcasting in Haiti in the late 1980s. Slightly more than half of them were in the Port-au-Prince area. There were a similar number of newspapers and other periodicals, including 4 daily papers with an estimated combined circulation of 25,000, 4 monthlies, and a dozen or so weeklies. The number of publications varied over time. Some publications were produced irregularly, of them published only a few issues before folding. 2 television stations, one private and one public, were broadcasting in the late 1980s. There was also a cable television network. Many wealthy families owned satellite dishes that picked up television signals from abroad. Television played a growing role among Haitian media, but its influence continued to be greatest among the higher-income residents of Port-au-Prince. In general, increased freedom of expression and an absence of formal government censorship or control characterized the post-Duvalier period. Spoken and written Creole became commonplace in radio, television, and publications, as well as community organizations and development projects. The production of materials written in Creole expanded exponentially in the late 1980s and increased in the participation of the majority of the population of Haiti in politics. Creole also became increasingly important in advertising. Creole is a language that is the product of mixing parent languages. Haitian Creole features French vocabulary with West African grammar. Today, there are existing TV and radio programs and channels that are both exclusive or national and foreign or international to Haiti. In the community, the role of men and women are originally equal, just as how the roles of men and women in the Philippines began. Equal, but in such a way that the limitations of each gender were recognized and respected and not ridiculed. Men were tasked with heavy work and women the lighter work. Marriage was a concept that was not required for Haitians when it comes to partnerships, that is, before the coming of the Protestants. Weddings were celebrations that were very expensive and very few Haitians could afford it, especially since it requires ownership of land. Even so, marital status can be attained by what is called plaçage, an arrangement common among the urban poor. Plaçage is not considered legitimate by the government, but is considered so by the people. Inequality, however, can come in the form of polygamy, wherein the men are able to marry more than one woman. But since weddings were a costly affair, most men with more than one wife were well off and rich. Pro-women aspects of the Haitian society include not mandating having to share income among couples, and women's rights began expansion since the 1980s. Now let me show you a few videos of commercials in Haiti. This first video is a commercial of an energy drink.
Yagamon! Agaman!
In this video, we can see that women are not regarded as much, since most of the people in the commercial were men, all given a functioning role in society as people go to work, go play music, and such. This may be seen as a product of the colonization of France, and also the influence of the United States of America, and its indirect power control over Haiti.
Gouvernement américain kap ven Miami, New York, Jamaïque, Trinidad, Honduras, Suriname, Guyana ak tout ti île Caraïbe yo.
Vous avez presque fini, messieurs? On ferme.
Folks in Siam do it.
Yo, really. Where? Appelle la babase.
The action of banning can be seen as an act for gender equality and against the abuse and objectification of women. In addition, Article 18 of the Constitution of Haiti prohibits discrimination, and in 1994, the government established a ministry for the status of women. The civil liberties of women in Haiti appear to be well respected. There are no reported restrictions on their freedom of movement or freedom of dress. In spite of this, tradition still restricts Haitian women in the exercise of their rights, and they do not have the same social and economic status as men. Women in rural areas remain most confined to traditional roles and activities. Nearly half of Haitian households are headed by women.